Welcome back everyone. You've been asking for some real school lockdown stories, and after a lot of digging I found a few that are truly chilling. It took some time to find the ones that really hit that perfect level of unsettling, but I finally have 3 that I think will do the trick. Let's begin. It was a typical, boring day in calculus class. But it was Friday, 7th period. The week was almost over, and spring break was right around the corner. So everyone was getting antsy. We didn't have a test, so our laid-back teacher decided to kill time with a quiz on Sporkle. I remember the exact moment it happened right after my friend answered Adidas. The dean's voice came over the loudspeaker, panicked and frantic. This was not a drill. We were going into lockdown. I got chills. Our teacher, usually so calm, looked scared as he ran to kill the lights and herded us into the back corner of the room. We sat in silence for about 2 minutes before the constant buzz from an electrical panel in the back of the room just stopped. The school had cut the power. We all looked at each other. This was serious. A few minutes later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs, coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class started crying, which made the rest of us even more terrified. The screaming got closer, and the lunatic started banging on the lockers, yelling, "I'll kill all of you." That's when I started to fear for my life. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. One of the crying girls screamed no, and the banging just got worse as the man started screaming, "Open up." It felt like an eternity, but he eventually continued down the hallway, his screams fading away. About 10 minutes later though, it felt like half an hour, the dean came back on. He explained that a mentally unstable man had entered the building, assaulted the woman at the front desk, and then vanished. They didn't know if he was armed. This was before the school had cameras or good security. The all clear was given. Teachers were told to resume class, but keep doors locked and not let anyone leave. But the most disturbing part, the night shift janitor found a man sleeping in a storage closet near the back of the school. And according to the rumors that spread through my class like wildfire, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have spooked him, because by the time police arrived, the man was gone. As far as I know, my entire class to this day has no idea if he was ever caught. I like to think he's finally getting the help he needs. My school had 2 lunch periods. The lockdown happened on an overcast, rainy day in October. During the first lunch period, I heard 4 loud booms. I thought it was thunder, but the entire lunch crowd started screaming. I thought they were just messing around. But then campus security rushed in, yelling at everyone to get into the multi-purpose room. Me and my friends went inside with this huge crowd of other kids. The multi-purpose room is huge, with a back wall made entirely of see-through glass. As we were rushed in, security was frantically covering the glass with curtains, and adults were posted at every exit. My friend Eric was curious, so he asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he was pale. He said, "You know those houses right in front of the school? There's this mentally disabled crazy man who barricaded himself in front of his house. He's threatening to commit suicide and kill the cops if he's evicted. He was walking around outside the school, watching kids in a weird way." It turned out the man was also a registered sex offender. We were stuck in that room for a whole hour. After it was all settled, we were escorted to our classrooms one by one. I later found out the man lived next to my friend, Brandy. She told me that the previous Halloween, she saw the same man at his window, cutting his arm and writing in his own blood on the glass, "Don't come here or I'll kill you." Of course, since it was Halloween, everyone, including Brandy, assumed it was just a really intense decoration. After this incident, we knew the truth. We were just glad he never got any closer. I'm 22, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a computer intern. My office was in the school basement. It's a messy place, but our little 3-person office is nice, big desks, mini fridges, a TV, and glorious air conditioning. A few weeks ago, my 2 co-workers, Dave and Gary, were upstairs. I was eating my sandwich when I got a call from the front office. The school was on lockdown. Someone, possibly armed, was in the building. There wasn't much I could do. A nice office didn't have an actual door, just a big opening, and the main basement door didn't have a working lock. For my own safety, I turned off all the lights and my computer screen. I texted Gary and Dave, but they didn't respond. I just sat in the dark, playing on my phone for 20 minutes, waiting. Then, the noisy basement door creaked open. The sound echoed right into my office. I sat up, wondering if I should call out for my coworkers. Someone came running down the stairs, their footsteps getting closer. I panicked, pushed my chair away, and crawled under my desk. Someone entered the office but didn't turn on the lights. There was just silence. I was paralyzed with fear, convinced that one noise would mean I was dead. Then, my phone dinged a text message. I felt my entire world shrivel up and die in that moment. The footsteps moved closer to me until I finally broke. I dove out from under the desk in total surrender, begging, "Please don't kill me." Just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was a guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He said, "It's okay. I'm just down here hiding with you." "What's going on up there?" I whispered. He kind of ignored me and asked, "Is there an exit down here?" I told him, "Yeah, around that way." But before he could move, I had to ask, "Who are you?" There was a brief, heavy silence before he started explaining he was there to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. As he was talking, I checked my phone. The text was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud, until I looked up and felt my stomach sink. The man seemed to catch my suspicious stare, panicking. All I could think to do was run for the stairs upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement. I heard the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness, but by the grace of God, it missed me, and I made it upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement door, and they caught the man the second he opened it. More good news. Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot. It turned out the shooter had some old beef with him, for reasons that were never really revealed. But we all knew Mr. Buckley couldn't have done anything to warrant that kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind. If you have your own strange or creepy stories, feel free to share them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales from the shadows.